Okay, so I'd like to welcome, Scott Connolly, who is head of media and entertainment from the Verizon Innovation Labs, and Stacy, who is the technical solutions manager with Disguise. Eli, what did we just see?
Yeah, I know this. A lot of different visuals there, and kind of a combination of a lot of different industries that we work in. Disguise is a visual technology platform. We kind of started off largely in the kind of concert touring base. You see tours like Taylor Swift or U2 or any of these other large concerts on tour, largely now using LED and video to kind of express their kind of creative platform. However, as you saw, this spans much beyond just stage entertainment. We're seeing a lot of this technology kind of merge with things like broadcast, which was the kind of first to be integrating live data, and kind of now what we're seeing is making that accessible to, that same technology accessible to corporations, integrating data, utilizing new technologies around AI and other systems to kind of elevate and inspire some of the different experiences that either end users or people within a corporation can kind of experience.
Okay, and Scott, we were just talking about this off stage, right? This technology is not new, right? I mean, so this has been around. We've been using it in distance. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about where we've come from and kind of where we're at today.
So the interesting thing about where this technology is, we're calling it with XR, extended reality, right? It's an iterative step along within all new media. You could even say XR started from 3D, right, where we get stereoscopic 3D, which was something that was very popular, and starting to come back more than 10 years ago. We saw that move to VR, which is now being developed additionally, and this is XR and an extended reality's point. It brings into more a group immersion, right? Not only does this give capabilities for us to do cinema, for us to do broadcast, for us to do marketing in that space, but also you'll see a lot of kind of integrations with museums, with large immersive. If anybody saw the Van Gogh exhibits where the Van Gogh comes alive within that space, and it is that iterative step to bring, say, VR to the masses in that space.
Given you're with Verizon, Scott, how do you think? I mean, how does Verizon think about looking ahead, bringing this to its customers? And you have customers in the B2C realm as well as the B2B realm. How do you think about your organization's role in bringing this?
So I think one of the coolest things about working for a company such as Verizon is actually how different what I'm doing to say what Meghna was talking about just previously, right? We have two very foundational products that we sell that you're familiar with. We have connectivity, and we also have a BDP product, which is edge compute. And that is primarily just taking cloud computing and putting it on our network to reduce the latency. But those products are foundations to empower other products such as this. We're not in the business of necessarily selling XR stages or even VR goggles, but we have the capability to empower creators through this technology, but also improve connectivity with, say, a VR product.
Okay, so you're the highway and the cul-de-sacs and all that part of the delivery mechanism of this.
Not only that, we can act as the connectivity, right? Let me rephrase that. We can act as the bridge to take technology such as these and look for new inventive ways to use it in all the industries that we're actually involved in, right? So my focus is primarily media and entertainment and media innovation, but I am based out of an innovation lab. We have 3 of them across the United States. And within those labs, we have all our different technologies. And on a given day, I can walk into a different room that covers a different industry within the lab, and I can see something that I can bring over to the media and entertainment industry, and I can see something in the media and entertainment industry, I can bring it into that industry. And I think that's the absolute power of just being involved in so many spaces.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you on that, but
Yep.
Eli, so talk a little bit how Disguise, the core offering that Disguise brings to market, and then how it works with Verizon, right? Because you all work symbiotically together. But Eli, explain to us a little bit about the Disguise value proposition.
Sure. So, we are manufacturers, so we make a combination of hardware, software, and a variety of cloud tools that allow you to we're partially at the last mile, right? So I actually look at a space like this where I have, LED kind of enhancing the experience of everyone here. Of course, the conversations alone have been interesting, but being able to have these visual medium, naturally as humans, we want to be able to kind of experience that at a higher level. As I said, concerts is like the biggest example of that, where you can barely see the person on the stage, but you see them at a larger scale. For us, it's about being able to have a production-ready platform that takes all the technology that would have been, for a long time, very exclusive to only the highest levels of production. You look at Disney, look at these high, big-budget studios. That same technology you can have within your marketing department, not only for producing content for external and to end customers, but as I'm sure many of you guys know, there are a lot of internal communications that happen. Yes, it's nice to have a newsletter go out, but a video is more appealing, and especially for technology companies, being able to kind of highlight your dominance within the technology space by utilizing the most cutting-edge technology. We see that as an inspiring way to have people within the organization kind of latch on to that. There are other areas within that too. We see fixed installation being an area, and that kind of sounds like maybe it's tangent to it, but a lot of lobbies are trying to integrate data from, I think Verizon's a good example, where there's a lot of individual user data that might be able to be utilized. So when someone enters a building, I know who it is. I can display that visual on a giant LED screen. Hey, your meeting's on floor 13. This is something that improves productivity and efficiency within an organization in a lot of different and creative ways.
As really to either of you, we have a lot of people in the audience who come from B2B companies. What's the kind of the state of B2B type industries today, and where do you think that's going to take us over the next few years?
Primarily where we are, the area that I work in is in enterprise customers, right? So where I'm looking at is tools like these and how I can use these tools to empower customers such as you. Like, that's the absolute point of this, and that's the advantage of being part of an innovation lab, right? Is we get to play around with these ideas and put them together in order to bring them and inspire new ideas, not only tools such as Disguise, but say we are one of the main things that we work with enterprise customers is 5G, private networks. And that private network is that foundation, which we then can put a tool like Disguise onto and bring that as added value of not just that connectivity, but also that capability within, it enhances that capability along with maybe other tools that you may already be using. Right, to give one more example, we have, say this year we're working with the NFL, and all the NFL coaches have a comm system that they're using to communicate with their team now, which is completely private comms, great connectivity. We can now bring that over in the media entertainment industry. We can put that on a private network, and we can use that to empower media customers. But as we look at that, we can start to investigate Industry 4.0 customers that maybe need the same kind of communication within their factories.
Okay. And then from Disguise's side, how do you think about kind of B2B markets?
Yeah, I think business to business is definitely an area where we see a lot of the kind of visual medium kind of taking a play. Obviously, business to consumer is largely where we sit as an entertainment kind of focused company. But as I said, like communications, advertisements as well, being able to facilitate more advertisements. You were talking about some of the stadiums that are increasing their connectivity, being able to integrate that data and to be able to kind of use that to focus perhaps the advertisements that you see and be able to offer that service to more companies to access it.
To add to what you're saying, like the Disguise is this tool that composites different technologies together. So everything that you're talking about there needs the connectivity, but it also needs the compute power, and it needs machine vision to understand and realize. And then if you're working in an advertising space, and I know there's a very famous scene from, say, Minority Report. It's the easiest way to view this if you were looking at specialized advertising. The idea that you could use machine vision to look at someone and understand them, and then Disguise could take that and say, oh, the person is wearing a pair of Nikes. Let's composite an image of that person wearing the latest Jordans, right? And the power of this kind of gets really shown when you start to think a little outside the box.
Yeah, we kind of call that like location-based experiences as well. A lot of the move is, recreating a physical event virtually. We kind of see that as a bit of a pathway towards a version of the metaverse, is kind of taking those live experiences virtual. But as you were saying, is like being able to be present in a physical space and interact with the kind of virtual element is the other side, not just taking the physical, making it virtual. Being able to walk up to any of these screens, being able to automatically detect that they're wearing Nikes, being able to, without them realizing it, we are tracking their full skeleton and we're recreating their position within 3D space. Maybe there's information to be learned from that, or advertising is an obvious example.
The example of some of the newer technologies for home exercise, I forget the one that LeBron James does. Are those things now powered by things like your platform where it's sensing the physical me and it's interacting with me and giving me feedback? Is that also kind of where these types of platforms are taking us, or that's where we are and they're going to take us even further?
Yeah, I think certain technologies around that space specifically has been really exciting. For us recently, we made a recent partnership with a company called Move AI to bring a real-time markerless motion capture system into an existing production-ready ecosystem. So anyone, typically for motion capture, you'd have to have a full markers, you'd have to have specialized systems. Now, anyone wearing any clothes can walk up within an area and track their whole system, their whole skeleton, I should say, as I was kind of alluding to earlier. We, of course, see this used in broadcast, but a lot of it is actually within the health space as well. So we're seeing potentially like physical recovery centers being able to record that data and compare that over time. We're looking at for athletics being able to record someone's various sports and actually compare that, review that with a coach in post, rather than just relying on video. You have a finer level of detail without necessarily inhibiting their performance.
Okay. We talked off stage a little bit about AI, right? The conference is built around AI. Mm-hmm. Is this AI? Is AI get integrated into this? Is AI integrated into this today? Is it like
So
How would you talk about that if I was a prospect that you were talking to me and you were trying to say, where does AI fit into this?
we're doing some exploratory work out of the Los Angeles lab, and it's very exploratory at this point in time. But the most interesting thing that we've come across within just this pure space recently is we did a very small project, and we said, let's see if we can use some existing APIs, and have those APIs will create a 360-degree image. And they can also create what's called a depth map. That depth map allows you to extract depth from an image that is otherwise flat. We call it 2.5D. But what ends up happening in an XR space or even a VR space or video games is that the actual ability to create those 3D environments and to really be creative is very, very expensive. But when we start to introduce this capability to create 2.5D or even 3D images, we can integrate it directly into the XR space. So now my stage at the Los Angeles Innovation Lab, you can walk up onto it and you can say, it's integrated into your iPhone. You say, create XR. And it says, what do you want to create? I would like to create the surface of Mars. In about 30 to 45 seconds, it creates an image. And now a creator or a director or someone wanting to do branded content or advertising can now shoot within that image in front of an LED screen and to the camera, and it creates a parallax effect, and you can actually appears as if that world is 3D and real.
Yeah, and I think kind of tying into that, I think that's exactly what we were talking about, where it's like this technology is so advanced with all the displays in XR, making that more accessible to corporations that don't necessarily have the existing expertise of running these large-scale studios. It makes it really easy for someone to pick this up and being able to immediately start using it in high volume. So many times companies are going to external agencies to create content, either internal, external, marketing, whatever. Being able to do more of that in-house is a huge cost savings. And tools like that, I mean, even if it's 5 minutes, it's still so much faster than any other method of creating compelling visuals.
Primarily for the media and entertainment industry and creatives in general, the primary focus is creativity. And creativity so often gets bogged down by technology. So developing and working in this space, it allows a creative to be creative, right? And it also is going to change the way that we are able to enable independent creators, those that don't have those resources. I think that's really what we're going to see in the next couple of years, especially with the generative art. It costs, when we hire a VFX person to do that work in that space, it costs us $1,000 per day, often, and we're talking 16 to 25 weeks of work. And to be able to do something even close to that in 45 seconds is phenomenal.
Eli, Scott, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.